Hey there, YouTubers. My name's Eric Price. I want to talk to you today about some things you obviously see in the title about ways to become a top 1% Uber driver. I just want to let you know I completed my first 1,000 rides this week. I'm up to like 1,004. A little bit about myself. I don't do this full-time. I do this part-time, usually around 25 to 35 hours a week, and I typically don't drive in the evenings. I work evenings for a Fortune 100 company for the sake of any liability reasons. It will remain nameless, but I'm located here in Los Angeles, and I have an evening job that I go to pretty much every night, and then I do this some mornings and some afternoons, usually about 25 to maximum of 35. I can't ever remember if I've driven more than that, usually around 25 hours a week. And obviously pay around the country is going to differ, and the time of day, you know, I'm not here to talk about surges or the best times to drive, just about things that I do to maintain a really high rating. I'll show you my the profile on my phone. I'll attach that in the video, maybe right here. I do hold a 4.94 rating over the course of 1,000 rides. I feel that that's pretty difficult to top. I've never seen a driver rating higher, and I ride Uber as well. So I'm not saying I'm perfect, but there are some things that I do consistently that I believe helps to lead to a high rating. I'm going to go through 10 of them. There are probably more, and there are probably some things you've heard from other drivers, but these are 10 that I could come up with that I do consistently that help to provide a really good passenger experience. So first one is by far the most important thing you can do to keep your car clean, and is absolutely essential. I drove without them before, and it was awful. You have to have all-weather mats in your car. It's just absolute necessity. I drove in San Francisco for about a year prior to coming down here to Los Angeles, and when it rains, or even when it doesn't rain, the world's just a dirty place, and people will track in dirt, hair, everything you can think of is in your car. And when you have fabric or whatever, cloth mats or whatever they are, I would have to steam clean my mats often, and even when I did, you can never get them as clean as when you first got them. So I use all-weather mats. They're so easy to clean. I have a front, a driver's side, a passenger side, and then a back row mat. And I use Husky weather beater mats. There are several different ones out there, and I'm sure whatever car you has an OEM or a genuine, you know, you can go to your dealership and get all-weather mats. The reason why I like these particular mats, and I'm not being paid to say this yet, but I wish I were, is the Husky weather beater mats have lips on the side. So if there's a drink spilled, or just when you're cleaning out the mats, when you pick the mat up and try to dump it out, it's not flopping around, it's rigid, so everything stays inside the mat. And I can show you a little bit of video of that later. Yeah, but it's super easy to clean. So I paid $60 for mine off Craigslist. They were used. I think the ones that are in my Prius retail for around $125. If you can find a deal, awesome, on eBay or Amazon, or like I said, I found mine on Craigslist. Probably not going to get a better deal than $60, but I highly recommend it. It'll make your car look so much cleaner just by having that and cleaning them regularly. So that's tip number one, like absolute necessity. Number two, coinciding with cleanliness of your car, especially in California, and there are other states that have legalized as well. I get riders pretty much at least one on a daily basis that comes in smelling like weed in the car. And for you, that might not be a problem, and for riders that follow that person, might not be a problem. But I would never want anyone to, or any smell to insinuate that I'm under the influence of anything while I'm driving, and thus jeopardize the trust that someone has in my ability to operate a vehicle. So I use Ozium air sanitizer. This is $6 at Walmart, and it's called That New Car Smell. I think it's pretty synthetic. It's not the best smelling stuff I've ever sprayed on anything. It's not a Febreze or anything like that, but whether it's cigarette smoke, BO, smell of marijuana, dogs, if you get a service animal, which does happen on occasion, it just eliminates pretty much any smell immediately. I'll spray one spray in the front, one spray in the back, and then I'll roll down the windows and drive around for about 20 seconds. Smell's gone, and thus I can safely mask anything that a different passenger were doing, and there's no possibility of someone thinking that there's someone wrong with me, or that I smell, or that I I'm smoking on the job or anything. And so that's really recommended. There might be other products out there, but in my research, this is the best one for eliminating odors, and it's $6. You can get it right at Walmart or online. Easy to get. Number 3, and I'll cut to a little clip of this. I keep Starbursts and Jolly Ranchers in my back seat, right here in the Prius, where there's a fold down section right here. There's a cup holder. Right here you can see that. I just keep Starburst on one side and Jolly Ranchers and like flavored Tootsie Rolls on the other side, as well as in the door jamb on the passenger side. There's not really anything to put those in, so I just put them in the door jamb. And if you're on the West Coast or familiar with Winco, it's a great place to get bulk candy. It's pretty cheap. You can get as much or as little as you want, so I'll kind of get, when I go, I'll tend to stock up on a lot of Starbursts. They're pretty much a fan favorite. But you wouldn't believe that like everyday human beings coming out of a business meeting, how excited they are to get free Starburst or Jolly Ranchers when they get into the car. Oh my gosh, it's my favorite. And it definitely goes a long way. They're inexpensive. If someone takes 2 Starbursts, it would cost you like 8-10 cents at the most. It's not expensive to provide, you know, a heightened passenger experience. So I highly recommend it. There might be other candies that you prefer to eat, because when no one's in the car, I eat them too. Whether you like mints or anything, just one word of advice: get something that's individually wrapped, because if you got little kids or just, you know, just from a sanitary perspective, you don't want weird people digging their hands through everything, and then all of a sudden you have people that are scared to touch stuff in your car because you got open candy. So individually wrapped candies goes a long way. Just coinciding with that, I keep waters in the seat backs of the back seats. I keep 2 in the back here, 2 in the back there, and then just down on that side I keep 2 in the passenger side, and that can go a long way. I've done the math on it. For I get them at the 99-cent store. You can get 3 packs for $8 plus CRV. It comes out to around just over $9. Do the math on that divided by 72. You're paying like 15-16 cents a bottle. If 6 people take waters and only 1 person leaves me a $1 tip for water, I'm still breaking even, and I'm providing a great experience to all the passengers. They know that I care about my work, and I try to create a good customer experience. And no, not everyone tips me. Not everyone that takes my stuff and thanks or doesn't thanks me leaves me a tip, but that's not really what's important. What's important is maintaining a high level of service that I'm able to keep my ratings high, because the people that are going to tip would probably tip regardless anyways, and then people that may not tip, they get amenities and then are more likely to tip, to leave a $1 tip or whatever. And so it just helps your business out. You know, when I'm in my car, this is my business. It's not my full-time job, but when I'm driving, it is my job. And so I try to make sure that the experience that people have in the car is the same as if they were to walk in a hotel lobby, pretty much. Number 5, and you're gonna have your own tastes and preferences in terms of music. In over 1,000 rides, I have only twice had somebody, you know, try to change the music on me or ask if they could play something else. One time it was a guy who literally told me he was tripping balls and that he was on speed as he got in my car, and he wanted to play his mixtape. And I said, whatever, dude, just plug in, play where I want. And the other guy had a mental disability, and he wanted to listen to a particular radio station in LA that I've never listened to before. And so other than that, you know, some people have signs in their car say, hey, tell me to change the music. I've never had a normal person care what kind of music I play. I keep a Spotify playlist of reggae going constantly, and so, you know, I'll have like the same 30 songs playing when there are people in my car. And what I've found is that most people don't hate reggae. There are a lot of genres that might rub people the wrong way over the course of a 30 or an hour-long ride. But if you're not a big fan of Bob Marley or UB40 or any island reggae music, if you probably don't like going on vacation, because that's what you're going to hear anytime you go to a tropical place. So I feel like it's a pretty neutral, calming sound when you get into a stranger's car, just to hear some nice, easy-going music. Plus, I like feeling on vacation myself, especially in LA traffic. It's nice to just be a little mellowed out. So there are other genres I may listen to when no one's in my car that there are probably people that don't appreciate, and that's fine. And so I try to keep it as neutral as possible. So again, I use Spotify and just keep a reggae playlist. So just a tip. Number 6, in terms of car cleanliness, I know I talked a little bit about the importance of the mats. In Los Angeles, it gets really dirty really fast. You wash your car the next day, it's dirty, especially if there's like dew in the morning. I only wash the outside of my car every 7 to 10 days. I do like to keep it pretty clean, but what I've found is it's never affected the ratings I got, whether my car was dirty like everyone else's car here in Los Angeles. What's important to me is keeping the inside of my car clean. So every 2 days at max, usually every day, I'll take the mats out and shake them out and wipe them down, and just make sure there's no loose hair or anything on the back seats or like tucked somewhere that I didn't see, so no one gets in my car. I was like, what the, no one likes random hairs in their shower, so no one wants to sit on somebody's gross hair from the ride before. So I try to keep all the hair out and just make sure I dump the mats every 1-2 days max. Usually every week or so I'll actually come out and wipe them down. I'll just take like a wet cloth and just wipe the all-weather mats down. Keeps them, it's really easy. Again, like I can't stress it enough how important it is to have the mats. Just makes your life so much easier when you have dirty strangers get in your car that like just don't even realize what they're tracking in. Just easy to clean up and go on to the next. Number 7 and 8, if you're a decent human being, these probably aren't too relevant to you, things you probably already do, but I tend to be pretty extroverted and these things come easy. Some people maybe not so much, and so talking and engaging with strangers might not come natural. Most people don't talk on the bus or on the train or in any other public transportation sphere, so it can be kind of difficult to get people to engage with you sometimes when they're in your car. They just kind of go into bubble mode. I'll just ask a few kind of open-ended questions and gauge their interest in talking to me. So I'll ask, where they're from, how long in Los Angeles is very transient, very immigrant-friendly area. So there are people from lots of different countries, different parts of the country. Just ask where they're from, how long they've been here, what brought them here, usually work or family or both. And, if you ask enough open-ended things, if somebody's interested in talking, you can usually get them out of their shell and they'll just talk about their work and what they do. They'll ask you what you do, how long you've been driving Uber, all these things. If you ask a few open-ended questions and people give you one-word answers or they don't really respond, I kind of just use that as a cue. Hey dude, I just want my space. I'm going to work. I just want to be in peace. I just want to look out the window and I don't really want to talk much. And that's perfectly fine. Obviously a good social cue. If somebody puts in their headphones, I usually just leave them alone. If somebody's on their phone, I leave them alone. If somebody's on their laptop, I leave them alone. But if somebody's just sitting there doing nothing, I'll try to engage them and provide them with a nice, non-threatening experience to just talk for 15-20 minutes. And usually it ends up pretty dang good. Usually a lot of people thank me for, I can't tell you how, and I can show you on my app how many great conversations they've got. I think that's my #1 little badge that I've gotten, is just great conversation just from asking questions. And you would be shocked, maybe you wouldn't be shocked, but you'd be shocked about how many business cards I've received from people just having a 20-minute chat with me, and they'll leave me their card and tell me I don't know what it's for half the time, whether it's for their business or maybe they want to interview me for a job. I don't really know. But to me, that spells success. If somebody feels like I'm worthy of one of their business cards that they pay for, they must have a pretty positive experience with me, or they feel that I have some merit of value. And I don't know, that's feather in my cap. When somebody gives me a business card, I feel pretty good about that. Next thing goes right along with it. And again, if you're a decent human being, it's not weird or not special, but I tend to try to dress halfway decent. I usually wear a collared shirt, slacks, and a pair of shoes. And I don't know, it's kind of just the way I choose to represent myself. Have I driven in a t-shirt, shorts, and flip-flops? Absolutely. And I don't think it really affects the way that I'm treated or my ratings all that much if I'm wearing a pair of sandals, basketball shorts, and a t-shirt. But I just think, I choose to represent myself well when I'm on the job, which I am, when I'm driving. And I think, especially for people that don't ride Uber that often or maybe heard horror stories, I think it just creates an added level of trust and is more likely to cause somebody to leave you a positive rating. And so anything that I can do to, I want to showcase myself as an upstanding human being that just wants to provide them with a good experience, I try and do it. like I said, I don't think what you wear necessarily would affect the way you're rated or treated, but I just probably wouldn't recommend a backwards hat, a wife beater, and some ripped up jeans. That's just probably I don't know. If I were a rider, I'd probably prefer someone to be dressed a little more normal. So just a word of caution, or food for thought, but take it or leave it. For number 9, this isn't typically a big deal, but in very few circumstances, it is a huge deal. If you're driving people from out of town, they don't know where the heck they're going, you can just follow the Uber driver app. Even in Los Angeles, where traffic can be super crazy, I tend to use the Uber driver app, and it very seldomly causes me huge issues or takes me on like strange, really wrong paths. And if it does, it's easily correctable. If it's busy traffic, I'll just by way of caution, I'll punch it into Waze or Google Maps and just make sure there's not some substantially quicker way to get to where they're going. But for the most part, the Uber driver app is really good. If you're dealing with a local or someone that travels the same route very often, I will, and this is what I find out like pretty quickly into the ride, I'll just ask them whether, if they're from here, if they've been here a long time, I'll make sure to ask them if they have a particular way that they prefer going, like a particular route or path they like to go. Most of the time they say, nah, just follow the app. But every once in a while, someone would say, yes, this way's quicker, please turn here, please turn here, please turn here. And I know that if I'm doing exactly what they want, then they aren't going to be disappointed if it takes them longer than the app said, because they're the ones navigating. And again, if people are from out of town, and you can tell that pretty quick if you ask them where they're, whatever. You don't have issues with it, but if it's someone that's a local and they prefer a particular way, it's probably really important to go the way that they would like. Remember, you're getting paid to take them where they want. They're not paying you to go where you think is the best way to go. And so I just try to listen to the passenger when necessary, and people will thank me for being flexible oftentimes when I do that. So just a word of advice when you're dealing with locals or people that think they know how to outsmart the traffic in whatever city you're in. And last but not least, I think can really influence like someone's desire to rate you poorly. If when I get out of the car, I don't even know if I worded that statement right, but if somebody might be on the verge of leaving you like a 3 or a 4, sometimes the last thing that they'll remember is the way they were treated when they got out of the car. So every time someone gets out of the car, I like to turn around and make eye contact with them. Thank you for riding with me, and hope they have a great day. If it's a particular holiday that's going on, happy Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, whatever it is that they celebrate and that they're into. I like to make sure that they know that I'm wishing them well. And if they're on the verge of a 4 or 5, it might be more likely that they'd give me a 5 over a 4 because they remember a nice cordial exchange as they got out of the car. For them, a 4 to a 5 might not be a big deal. If you're leaving a Yelp review, a 4 to a 5 is probably not a big deal. But with the Uber app, if you're familiar with Uber, you know that if you fall under a certain threshold, which is way higher than 4, then you are in danger of being kicked off the app. And I don't want any reason to ever get close to that, or anything that Uber thinks that I'm doing to jeopardize my standing with them and my rating it being a contributing factor to a decision that they make, their corporate department makes when they don't even know me. So I don't want to do anything to get close to any threshold, and that's why I do everything I can to keep my rating where it is. Like, I'm sure there are people that have higher than a 4.94 over the course of 1,000 rides, but I've never seen one, so I know that I'm doing something right. If you liked everything you've heard today, or something you can glean from me that'll help you in your driving endeavors, please like, comment, share, whatever the heck you do, subscribe, all those things. It'll help me get my message out there, and probably help the Uber community to be even better if we can get more drivers doing great things in their car, providing great customer service. It means more business for us. It means we have a better reputation. I'm going to leave my referral code in the video, as well as there at the bottom. If you're new to Uber, you're trying to get started, most places in California, I know I've driven in San Francisco and Los Angeles, and your first 100 rides, you get a payout, whatever the payout may be at a particular time. So I invite you to use that. I do get a kickback from it, and it really helps my business if you do use my referral code. I'm not sure what the bonuses are in other cities, but by all means, please use my referral code. It really will help me out. I will be making some other videos to talk about different aspects of Uber not just about keeping your rating high, but in terms of surge and dealing with Uber pools, and there are a bunch of other dynamics that can be strange and difficult to master, and I feel like I've done a pretty good job of engaging in all those things. And so stay tuned for more videos. If you have anything you would like to learn from me, any problems that you've had and you like me to make a video on, please leave that in the comments. I would love to provide greater support to the Uber community. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and again, like, share, comment, subscribe. Winner. We'll see you guys.